I'm not sure what your perspective of America has been being over in England, but it'd be interesting for someone to do an analysis of how COVID, like the reactions of people and leaders with COVID in America and England, right? Because it's different. It's different. Like America, British people and Americans are different. Maybe we'll start there. How have you noticed that British people and Americans are different? Our neighbors are British, so we've had this conversation quite a bit. And my brother lives in England too.
Gotcha.
And I asked that because in America, there's been a lot of this weaponizing of compassion, I think, right? It's like, oh, like, you don't care about people. You don't care about grandma. Like, I do this for others. You don't?
Yes.
Why are you, right? I wonder if that's been the case in England or if they've had a different twist on that. So that's a lot.
Yeah, that aspect of it, I think, has certainly been in the UK, the whole, you want to kill grandma if you don't wear a mask or you don't support lockdowns. There's been a lot of emotional blackmail, a lot of bullying and shaming and, social coercion. And again, that's extremely effective on most people, but on me, it slides off. It's annoying, right? I don't like being called, nobody likes being called names. But I'm of the opinion that, okay, if someone calls me something that I am, then I just own and I accept it. If someone calls me something that I'm not, then I know I'm not that thing. I know who I am. I know what's in my heart. So I don't really care that they call me it in most cases. And I always like to imagine that the vast majority of people are operating from a place of what they think is right. It doesn't mean that everyone is always right, but I try to always bear in mind, especially when I have disagreements with people or I'm debating or I'm arguing, I always try to remember that most people have good intentions. Not everybody does, right? There are malcontent, there are, people who are vindictive and who have malice and who are malicious. But the majority of people are operating off of what they think is correct. And some of it is quite philosophical, right? Some of it comes down to even simple things like, how much do you trust the government, right? If you are very, very trusting of the government and you believe that they are doing what is best for you and for everybody or what they perceive to be, and you have a high trust in the government, then your response to a lot of these things, especially when it comes to mandates or laws or restrictions, your view on that is going to be very, very different to someone who's more skeptical of the government and who doesn't think that, okay, who doesn't think, oh, this is all just about protecting me from a virus and stopping me from getting sick. I think there's something else going on here. There's something sinister. There's a lot of questions, right? Someone who's more in that latter category, you're going to end up in very different places. And then if those two people talk about some of these policies, et cetera, it's going to be very hard for them to understand each other, let alone on a medium like Twitter or something. It's virtually impossible. But even in the real world, it's two very, very different approaches. And some people are much more freedom oriented. I'm very much in that latter category. And some people are a lot more safety and security oriented, even if it's an illusion. Even if it's not true safety and security, they want to feel like it's safety and security. And they want to be told what to do.
Excuse me, we did a segment the other day about the psychological assurances of safety. Like I'm gonna put these plexiglass barriers around kids, even though we know it doesn't do anything and it may make things worse, but it's the psychological assurance of safety. Like, gosh, that's so screwed up to me. Zuby, I don't want to cut you off here. We only got about 90 seconds, but I want to ask you this because you have an ebook out called Strong Advice, and it's about being healthy and all. And 78% of people who are hospitalized or died of COVID were obese. So this is the big third rail in America. You can't talk about obesity, but it seems to be that COVID's an obesity disease. So you got 60 seconds. What do we do to break that third rail?
Honestly, people just need to talk. Everybody needs to stop lying. People just need to be more honest. There's a line between, political correctness is deadly because it stops us from talking about these things which have a real world impact on people's lives. And so it's totally good to be polite and to be kind to people, but we shouldn't sugarcoat the truth and we absolutely should not lie. So I think people need to be open and willing to have those conversations, not in a way that's demonizing anybody, but in a way that's just being honest and open. And if we want to find solutions, we have to be able to talk about the problem.
Wow. That was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like, subscribe, get more.